If you do not like someone's story, write your own. Changing Narratives with Wambui Kabage.
Welcome, Wambui Kabage here again, and we left off last time talking about how you may still feel that you want your warrior, you still want your day in court, you still want that fight because you still want to take down that spouse that has really made your life incredibly miserable. It's okay, let's do that. Let's take the crystal ball and walk you through the future. Not a pretty one, I can tell you. So what's going to happen? First thing's going to happen, you're going to go to your warrior. You're going to tell them your story, the way you perceive it to be. They're going to take their documents, they're going to write it down on paper, and they're going to file it in a court system, which is a public court system. What does that mean? A lot of people don't really appreciate and understand what that means. It means that pretty much it's a public sphere. All your laundry, all your dirty laundry, no matter what it is, no matter what you wrote, is accessible to the eyes of pretty much anybody. There is no privacy to what it is you're about to do. Okay? So, okay, you may just be annoyed enough to not care what I just said. But let's move on a little bit. So fine, the documents go off. They go off to your spouse who you really want to teach a lesson. And then they receive it. And so guess what happens, right, guys? These people, when you fight, nobody lies down and takes it. Nobody goes, oh my God, yes, it's so true. Yes, I really didn't just. No, I'm sorry. The other party's going to fight back. Okay? So the other person's going to write back. So if you humiliated them in those documents, they're going to double humiliate you. Okay? They're going to write back the nastiest, the most horrible things you've probably ever seen in your life. Yes, and that's a person you loved at one point in your life. And guess what? The person who you love can hurt you more than any other human being on the face of this planet. Okay? So get ready. Get ready for a barrage of information that's going to be damaging, humiliating, and horrendous. And it's coming at you. Why? Because you threw it at them. So they respond. They respond and they send it back to me, or me, the warrior, okay? And this warrior's like, oh my, and you go, oh my, okay. So now begins the back and forth of nonsense. You know what? No. I say nonsense because it's the action of this back and forth that is nonsense. The content may not be, but what you've begun is a process of nonsense. You're abusing each other. You're insulting each other. There's the beauty of it is you decide, we're going to throw a little kadogo here into the mix, right? And we're just going to say all manner of things. I have seen right-thinking human beings claim that one party has molested their child. And that was completely untrue. But you know where it came from? It came from this back and forth thing that you were doing. And so you're so angry and so bitter that you actually stop thinking straight. You stop thinking straight. You stop thinking like a rational human being because you're under attack. And you begin to now use whatever weaponry you have in your area. And guess what? That's Kadogo here in the corner and that's Kanini here. Okay? So for me, I think that's just horrendous. I think that's the worst thing you could possibly do. But guess what? You're going to do it. You're going to do it. Because you are now in a fighting mode. Okay. So you're like, I don't care. I want to do that. So you fight, right? Back and forth, back and forth. It's not over. The documents, we're just on the document stage. We not started the war yet, guys. So the documents go to the court. Like I said, all your laundry, everything is out there for the world to see. Oh, I just pray you're not a high-profile couple because everybody has seen what's happened to high-profile couples in this country and in most countries all over the world. All your stuff is now all over everywhere. Okay, and you haven't even started fighting yet. Done. Okay, we're there. Then now, what happens is you have to look for a date to actually now air this laundry, to now stand in court and state exactly what you want. Oh, so guess what happens everywhere in the world? Court delays. So what does that mean? You have to hang around for maybe a year or two waiting for your case to be heard. Okay, in that time, there's a lot of anger, a lot of bitterness, but also in that time, guess what happens? Life doesn't stop. So what does that mean? As you've abused each other and insulted each other, you still need to share these children. You still need to figure out who's going to pay for what. You still need to figure out how this whole engagement is going to work as you're fighting in court. By the way, which date is in 2023, 24, maybe, if you're lucky. And So, okay, now that you've messed this situation up, how are you going to agree? You're not going to agree. That's how it's going to go out. So what happens? A judge has to determine how access is going to play out. A judge is going to determine how you're going to deal with your property in between this time period before you determine everything else. Oh, but guess what? Even if the judge makes a decision that you're going to have the children on one day and have the children on another day, guess what's going to go down? It's 10 o'clock. Oh, I need to get ready for the little one over there to go to mom. I'll just watch Netflix for a few minutes. Okay, I guess it's time for me to take the child. Oh, it's 12 o'clock. Oh, the little witch can wait. That's what you're going to turn into. You're going to be vindictive, vicious, and bitter. Why? Because of everything that's going on. And guess who bears the brunt of everything? Your children. They're going to suffer because of your bitterness, because of your vindictiveness. Oh, and guess what? You still haven't used your warrior. You still haven't had your date in court. But you know what? That's okay. You're going to wait. So, okay, as you're fighting over this whole process, nothing is resolved. You're all angry. You're all depressed. You're probably on antidepressants. You're probably really, really hateful. And guess what? You're shouting at your kids. You're shouting at your mom. You're shouting at everybody because you're just a hateful, nasty human being. Okay? So, yeah, that's what's going to happen. Oh, and we still are not in court yet. Okay, 2024 comes around, and here you are thinking, yep, you're ready. You're dressed up, and you're ready. You're going to stand there in court, and you think you're going to have your victory statement. I'm sorry, you've watched too much Suits or too many any kind of movies that you've been watching. It's not going to happen. And I'm telling you why it's not going to happen. Because you're going to be interrupted by a judge consistently. They're going to be like, just talk a bit louder. What are you saying? I can't hear you. You're going to get a lawyer who's going to cross-examine you and tell you, no, answer yes or no. And say no. This whole thing's going to mess up your vibe. You will never get your day in court. You're not going to stand there and be like some Hollywood actor. Why? Because this is a foreign environment. You are not comfortable in the court system. The only one who has their day in court is your lawyer, okay? Not you, right? And they're going to say things and you'll be like, I didn't tell you. What? I didn't say that. Why are you saying that? Yeah, no, that's not. It never plays out the way you have put it in your head. Okay, and so you're left with a judgment. Okay, so let's even say you get the judgment that you want, okay? Or you thought you wanted 3 years ago. It's probably not the same judgment you want today. Why? Things change, times change, people's salaries change, everything changes. But you see, in the documents that you put, life stands still. It doesn't change. It doesn't move because you moved. It doesn't, nothing. The stocks that you had that were, I don't know, in COVID, pre-COVID time are not the stocks that you're going to have COVID time. Okay. So you may have written in your documents, you want this investment and I would like half of this investment. That's like half of 200 shillings because that's what happened to your investments. But maybe what you should have done in the documents is actually focused on the properties that you had or other things. You should have done certain things differently. But because in documents, life stands still, you're not going to get what you want or you need in 2024. That's not going to happen. Okay? So you've gone through this whole process thinking that you were going to have your day in court, you're going to fight, and you're going to get what you want, and you don't. See, here's the problem. You get your judgment, you don't like your judgment. You cannot change that judgment. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you have created such a hostile environment between you and your spouse that they never want to see you. They never want to renegotiate. And so you're stuck with this judgment that you absolutely hate. You both absolutely hate it. But guess what you hate more? You hate each other more. So you will never go back to change the nature of that judgment. Right? And so what you end up with is just a hot mess. And what you end up with is hatred towards a human being you did not need to hate. Because guess what? This human being, as long as you have children with them, will be in your life till the day you go to your grave or till the day your children go to their grave. Nobody told you that. Nobody told you that. They told you you could fight and get away. You can't get away. You cannot get away from this human being. So from the beginning, take you back. Wouldn't it have been better had you sat down with a mediator, had a conversation? And maybe in 2024, you'd actually be having a valuable conversation about what is the best interest of your children, what is the best schools that you're going to take them to, how are you going to deal with this? And yes, if you do have other spouses in your lives, how are you going to engage, right? So there, that's the crystal ball. And I really hope that you begin to understand that the idea of moving in the direction of a court and a fight and a battle is really not the way you should want to begin dealing with your family disputes. So next week, we're going to be discussing, maybe you're not married, okay, and you have children or a child together. And for whatever reason, one spouse or party leaves and deserts you guys, okay? And it could be a he, could be a she. And then a few years later, I don't know, the person gets an epiphany, decides he wants to connect, reconnect, whatever it is, and appears. And you're like, why is he back? Why is she back? Let's discuss that in the next episode.